if I took my own advice, I wouldn't be sitting here today. I'd have 2 legs and I'd be okay. God only knows where I'd be. I'm Peter Goherty, a farmer from IECHYD in County Galway, East Galway. Basically what happened was I put on a pair of overalls, had a pair of steel toe cap weltons, went up to the farm, and just before dinner time my knee came out through the waterproof section. I went home, I cut the overalls off that was, was with the knee gone out through them, and I left a small tail on the right hand side. So back working on the farm, everything was perfect. My 10-year-old son was with me. I was as proud as punch having my son with me, and we decided we'd pull out the diet feeder out of the shed, myself and my 10-year-old son. And when I hooked up the diet feeder, I stuck on the PTO shaft, I put on the hydraulic lines, put in the electric lines, and when I pulled it out of the shed, I spun it and I could hear a knock coming from inside it. At that stage, I also seen the hydraulic lines working in the correct way around, and as I got down, when I got down the tractor, as I was walking by the back of the tractor, I decided I'd change the hydraulic lines before I'd investigate what was knocking inside the machine. So I pulled the 4 hydraulic lines out and I shoved them back in the correct sequence. Then I went to stand back from the machine, from the back of the tractor, and I noticed I couldn't feel the ground with my left leg. And at that stage, I looked down and I seen the left leg was gone clean off me below the knee. Now what happened then after that was I was sucked in, pulled into the machine, and I was through on the ground on the other side. And it was then I discovered I broke the 2 bones in my left arm and a rib, skin and muscle to the bone on the shin. And I lay there, my son turned off the PTO and he ran down and got his mother, my wife, to come up. She came up to the farmyard. I was lucky she was a nurse, so she was able to do tourniquet and stop some of the bleeding, but she wouldn't let me turn over because she was afraid I had spinal injuries at that stage. For the next 6 weeks I was at home, and from the 16th of February until about the 1st of June, I was learning how to walk, how to have a leg fitted. What I should have done differently that day was, I should have thought, when I pulled the machine out, should have seen there was no cover on the power shaft. I should have went and got a new power shaft with a cover. I shouldn't have used the machine without the cover. The advice I give to farmers today is slow down, think about what you're at, think what's the consequences. If it goes wrong, what's going to happen? How can I do this safely? And I suppose looking at it from my point of view is, if I took my own advice, I wouldn't be sitting here today. I'd have 2 legs and I'd be okay. God only knows where I'd be.